This is not
the XFL!
Hey everybody, this sneak preview of This Is Not the XFL show is brought to you by Pretty Easy Podcasts. If you've ever thought about doing a podcast but did not want to do all the technical stuff, you have a great idea, you have a passion, you want to do a show, you maybe don't have the time, you need someone to help you, go to prettyeasypodcast.com and get started today. Of course, the full episode of this show is on Patreon. Give to our Patreon on any tier of your choice and get all sorts of extra XFL content and, of course, a whole lot of football talk, all the football talk you can handle. Check it out. Misinformation. Swerving the other team and general managers. That's what it's all about in Lyin season with the NFL draft only a night away as of this edition of This Is Not the XFL show. And we have a handful. I have picked 5 really big, fat, juicy rumors and reports that are out there going into tomorrow night's first round of the NFL draft. And we're going to lay them out, and then we're just basically going to say whether or not these are lies, this is misinformation, this is being planted, or this is a bad report. We're going to identify the BS going into the NFL draft round number 1. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready as we'll ever be.
Bryant, are you ready for some lies?
I'm ready. Can we just spell that for the listeners, though? This isn't like the Detroit Lion season, right? This is
no, Lyin. Lyin.
Deceiving.
Yes.
Fibs.
Fibbing season. Number 1, CBS's Will Brinson said that Arizona might not take Kyler Murray number 1 overall. Reports were that Arizona tried to get the fan base excited about Kyler Murray. The response wasn't really all that great whenever they let it be known they would probably be drafting him. And now it looks like they're going to take a step back and maybe draft someone else number 1 overall. This was a report that came out on CBS Sports initially. Arizona not taking Kyler Murray number 1 overall was initially said 99% by Mel Kiper that he would go there, Vince. So is this a lie from CBS Sports or the Arizona Cardinals or someone else?
It seems like it. It seems like a lie. Most so-called experts are still saying, Murray's going to go number 1.
Vegas odds have lowered though on that happening.
But that those odds are lowering to adjust the market, and with the low caps on how much you can wager on these sorts of props, it doesn't take much money being bet in order to adjust those lines. So I wouldn't get too much involved in those. In fact, those odds makers, they're reading the same mock drafts that we are to make up these particular props.
They are.
So I wouldn't get too wrapped up in what Vegas is saying about that. It just seems like there's been so much to get this guy, unless they had a plan to trade Josh Rosen and it's completely fallen apart. And they decide they're just going to hold on to him. But barring that, it seems like that's the way they want to go. Why would you send out a smoke screen when you have the first overall pick, unless you really want to field an offer or something?
Yeah, this looks like misinformation all the way. I don't know who planted this, but it just makes too much sense for the Cardinals to get Kyler Murray with their new coach in place of Cliff Kingsbury and the system he'll run. Plus, Mel Kiper Jr. doesn't lie. Of all the liars influencing the draft, he's honest. He's been doing it for 36 years, Bryant.
But was he? I don't think he reported the Baker Mayfield thing last year until 10 minutes before the draft.
Well, I think it was a couple days.
People were projecting that Sam Darnold was going to be the guy, and then as it got closer, along came Baker. But last year, I don't think there was as much talk about the coach saying, this is the guy I really want, like we have with Kingsbury and Murray.
But it's just, look, I can't imagine that pick gets announced and both Josh Rosen and Kyler Murray are on the Cardinals at the same time. Even if it's for like an instant. But like I just don't see you devalue Rosen so much by drafting Kyler Murray and still having him on your roster. Because then at that point you have to trade him. You have to. There's no leverage anymore. You lose all leverage with any team by saying, hey, we still have Josh Rosen because, well, we have Kyler Murray, though. So do you want him now? Like, you have to trade him before the pick is made.
You don't have to. I mean, you're just not going to – you just probably wouldn't get as much in return.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Or maybe your backup. You know, you got to do whatever it takes to get your player. And if your player is Kyler Murray, then you take him. If you don't have confidence in Josh Rosen, then you go out and you get the player that you do have confidence in.
Thanks for listening to this preview of This Is Not the XFL Show. To get the full episode, please join our Patreon. You'll get this show each and every single week, plus all of our other bonus content. We have all the football you can handle right there on our Patreon page. This Is Not the XFL Show is a production of Pretty Easy Podcasts. Go to prettyeasypodcasts.com to get your own podcast started today.